From where the West begins in Fort Worth, Texas, to around the globe, you are listening to Talking the Night. Sorry I haven't been on the air, but I've been dealing with some health issues and also some personal reasons that has kept me off the air for a little bit. But I am back tonight to do my show on the predictions for 2019. But in this first hour, we're going to get first half hour, we're going to get into last year's predictions that were made on the show, because I do this annual prediction show every year. I am going to do something real quick. I'm going to share this to Facebook real quick, the show, and then of course I'm going to go over 2018's predictions, what happened. All right, so I'm going to do this real quick again. Not that page, that page. All right, so I am live now on Talking the Night, and here are predictions that were made in 2018. Yes, I'll look at the Facebook Live. I do have it going, but I'm not going to be paying attention to the comments. Sometimes I just might turn that way and everything like that. But here are 2018 predictions. And of course, I'm not paying attention right now to the Spreaker chat, but I am going to type in there real quick. Like I said, again, if you want to listen on Spreaker and join the chat, sign up for a free account. You don't have to record anything. You can just pop in the chat and say hello, and of course mention your predictions in the last half hour there or throughout the show. And of course I will record them throughout the show. So let's get into 2018's predictions that were made last year. Now, some of these are mine, some are not. I'll let you know which ones are mine. Of course, somebody predicted that Mount Vesuvius will erupt in late 2018. Now, we still have a few days left here in 2018, so it still could happen, but so far it has not happened. Major earthquakes to strike the Ring of Fire, causing 3 major volcanoes to erupt in the Ring of Fire. Now, that is true to an extent. Kilauea was one of them. And we've had some big earthquakes strike the Ring of Fire. That was one of my predictions. That was made last year, at the end of last year. Another thing that I did not do, but it was economic collapse with gas being hit hard. Now, gas prices soared to $75 a barrel in October, but it didn't really take that much of a toll. We actually picked up an economic, as far as the economy. Again, another one I didn't make, war with North Korea looks like it takes place in 2018 that could lead to World War III. Of course, as everybody knows, that did not happen. Now, when I get into 2019 predictions, I am going to mention something about World War III, which was a prediction by Nostradamus. So when I mention that, and everything like that. So somebody commented on, or sent me a message on Facebook. So So I'm just telling him to try tune in. His monitor thing broke. So he's having trouble getting the show. So let's get back into 2018, because this first half hour is about 2018's predictions. Hey, Bill. Here's, let's see. No, this is not the one that I made. Sorry. Now, 7 different asteroids will come close to Earth, and one is that of the size of the Empire State Building, having a possibility of hitting Earth. Again, did not happen. Nothing, or at least nothing hit the Earth, and nothing that big. But we did have 8 asteroids pass close to the Earth within moon distance. So it was right to an extent. We had one more than what was predicted. Another one, this was made last year, and of course, again, this year by Nostradamus, or for the coming year, I should say. Humans could live to 200 years old with new advancements in medicines. Of course, it didn't happen this year, but again, it was another prediction made by Nostradamus, which I'll mention that a little bit later. Now, prediction was, next prediction, again, I didn't make this one, $60 a barrel of oil because of shortage in gas by next Christmas. Well, throughout 2018, up until October of 2018, gas prices were over $60 a barrel. After October 4th, I think it was, gas prices went down. But like I said, it got up to $75 a barrel in October. But right now, as of now, it is $22 a barrel. So gas prices have gone down. And of course, here in Texas, gas prices are at just below $2 for unleaded. Another prediction made, again, I didn't make this. 2018 will be the warmest La Nina year on record. Now, of course, La Nina, it's more drier in the south and wetter and colder in the north. Well, we're in actually more of a El Nino thing where all the stuff is coming up from the south. Just looking at the Spreaker chat real quick. Again, I didn't make that prediction. I just looked at all the predictions made from last year and telling you what happened, what didn't happen. Now, I'll let you know which ones what predictions I made. Now, I made about the earthquakes in the Ring of Fire, that prediction, and another one here I'm going to make in a second, or one I made here last year in a second, but I'm going to get 2 more here real quick before I get to that. Now, there will be a massive break in the Arctic ice shelf. Water levels will rise. Of course, there was one that broke off last year and was headed to warmer waters, but no water level rises as of yet. It kind of broke free and started moving towards another portion of the ice shelf, and now it's kind of wiggling there and trying to head towards warmer waters. Now, if that does it, now sea levels could rise quite substantially because it was a big piece that broke off. Let's see. Next prediction is Kim Jong-un will be overthrown by his people. Of course, that did not happen. there was plenty of talk about it, but didn't happen. All right, now this next one is one that I did make because I saw the massive wildfires coming to Southern California for 2018. Of course, I didn't mention that because, as I've stated so many times before, no psychic is ever going to be 100% right. But I was right on this one. And that is, natural disasters will be more prevalent in 2018 with major earthquakes hitting the West Coast. Now, in a sense, we did have more prevalent natural disasters, but we had no major earthquakes in California, or nothing really too big. Maybe up in Northern California, but as far as Southern California goes, no. Now, I do have something to say about major earthquakes for the coming year that were made by Nostradamus. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to actually probably have enough time to go over some of those predictions in this first half hour. So next one is, and the rest of them I didn't make. I didn't make too many predictions because other people were making predictions, or I got plenty of predictions from Nostradamus and Edgar Cayce and so forth. Excuse me. It says, watch the skies for strange sightings, UFOs, red lights, orbs, spirals, etc. It's going to be a very weird year. Now, of course, true, there were some strange sightings in the sky, but that happens every year. So it's going to be true every year. Major blackouts to hit the U.S. Now, only one of them hit back on March 2nd of 2018 due to nor'eastern. 2 million people were without power. And I'm going to look at the Spreaker chat, see who we got in there. We got Nicole, we got Bill, we got Glenn. I don't know how many more people unless they pop in the chat and say hi, because I can't see who's on the chat until after the show, or how many people tuned in, I should say, until after the show. Let's see. Next one is July or August. Major hurricane named Brian. Of course, we did have some hurricanes in those months, but it was not with that name. Hurricane in February on the East Coast named Kimberly. Of course, nothing happened in February, especially with that name. Now, the next one is huge earthquake in September. Now, this one was not specific to where. It was just huge earthquakes in September. So it was very vague, but there was a 7.9 and 7.5 that happened, but not in the U.S., however. Now, we're going to get into some people that made predictions last year and everything like that. Stacy made the prediction, huge man-made explosion in summer. Did not happen. Healthcare going south, made by Tori. Yes, it's true in an extent, but healthcare has been going kind of downhill as of late, especially with the VA. So, yeah, that's true in an extent. Problems in Greece did not happen, or I did not find anything that happened as far as Greece goes. Problems in the EU and Britain, yes, there were problems there, so it was true to an extent. So those are 2018's predictions that were made by me, Nostradamus, Edgar Casey, and other people, and of course the listeners chimed in. Now, throughout the show, if you're following on Facebook Live or on Spreaker, type in the chat and let me know your predictions. I might not see it until later on after the show, but if you want to get your prediction in, I will record it. I promise you it will be up on the Talk of the Night Facebook page as well as the show's website. So let's get in. We got about 15 minutes till we get into our first guest for the night. Hey, Yadara and Eric, thank you for tuning in on Facebook. I am live on the air on Spreaker, iHeart, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, and of course the show's website. So let's get into some predictions made by Nostradamus and by Edgar Casey that were made for 2019. But before I do, I want to mention the two predictions that I have so far seen come for 2019. Excuse me. And that is a conflict between the U.S., Russia, and China. Yeah, I do see something stirring, and you can see it in all types of news stories and everything like that, where Russia, China, the U.S. just are having problems with each other. So, yeah. And, of course, more civil unrest around the world. That's my other prediction. We've had it in the past. It's going to pick up pace all around the world. Not just here in the U.S., but all around the world. So here's predictions for 2019 by Nostradamus. The start of World War III, and it will last 27 years. Now, there have been so many times that there has been the talk of World War III coming and everything like that, and every year it doesn't happen. So don't blame me. This is Nostradamus's prediction, not mine. But he says, now he has been right on some predictions, but again, nobody that has psychic abilities is ever going to be 100% right. So you're bound to get some wrong. Asteroid impacts will decimate humanity, but this won't happen until after World War III has already decimated most of the people here on planet Earth. Again, not my prediction, just Nostradamus's. On a more lighthearted note, people will start talking to animals and everything like that. Now, people do talk to animals, but what I'm talking about here is more of a psychic way of talking to the animals, where you can hear what they're thinking. More people will be open to that. Spring-like weather, only 5 months away. That's another lighthearted one that most people will like, because the cold weather Some people just do not like that cold weather. And so the prediction by Nostradamus is that spring-like weather is only 5 months away. Here's some other predictions by Nostradamus. And we got about 10 minutes till we get into our guest. Our first guest for the night, astrologer Eric Pride. We'll get into what the signs have in store with him. But let's see. Let's get into some more predictions real quick. Hungary, Italy, and the Czech Republic, but also Great Britain will deal with extreme floods. Now, when I mentioned about the West Coast earlier and the big earthquakes, a 8.0 to a 9.2 earthquake can strike on the West Coast, possibly the San Andreas. It's been mentioned so many times before that the fault line is well overdue for a major earthquake, and yes, it is, but will it happen? We'll have to wait and see. Now, he predicted that the epicenter for that earthquake will strike more towards the California-Oregon border, but it will send ripples all the way up and down that fault line from Alaska all the way down to Baja California, the Gulf of Mexico, and as far east as New York City. So there's that. New advances in medicine allowing people to live to 200. Again, that was made last year. Didn't happen. Again, it was made by Nostradamus for this year coming up. Let's get into some Edgar Cayce's predictions here. China will have more religious freedom, numerous volcanic eruptions, exploding drones packed with explosives. Yes, a way for terrorists to cause more havoc with all the drones out there. It's going to be a lot harder to pinpoint the person doing it. Quite possibly. Or they can do more damage without anybody really knowing. Pope Francis resigns. Internet becomes more popular than TV. Of course, it's already started. People are more fascinated with the internet and streaming apps like Netflix, Tubby TV, and so much more. I do have internet TV. I can watch cable without subscribing to a cable channel or anything like that. 3D printed food. I don't know how that's going to work, but yeah, there's that. And a giant sea monster will be discovered, or at least the fossils of a giant sea monster. Those are Edgar Cayce's predictions. So let's get into some other predictions made for 2019. And of course, we're going to get your predictions in the last half hour of the show, where you can either do it here on Facebook or on, of course, on the radio by calling in, or on Spreaker in the chat. But here's some other predictions made by other psychics and everything like that. Pope Francis will be assassinated and be the last pope. The coming of the Antichrist kind of goes along with that. Crazy weather events worldwide. When has it not been crazy weather all around the world? So those are some of the predictions made for 2019. And we still got about 5 minutes. So I'm looking here at Facebook and Also, Spreaker, if you got any predictions for 2019, you want me to record them right now for you, I will do that. It just takes me a moment to type everything, but we got... Okay, I'm just trying to figure out. It says flying objects, planes, Hitler, he predicted. Oh, yeah. That's things that Nostradamus predicted. Okay. Now I was having trouble figuring out what she was talking about. But yeah, Nostradamus predicted those things. And he was well known for predicting future events. But again, he did get some things wrong. And again, no psychic is ever going to be 100% right. Now, I'm going to go to Facebook and see what we got here. And of course, I am live on Facebook. So if you want to... I'm live on Facebook on the show's Facebook page, but also I'm live on the air, and I want to share this with everybody out there on my timeline. Be sure to share it around. Tell people that I'm live. Tell them to tune in, because we got some guests coming up here in about 3 minutes. We're going to take a break, and we're going to, of course, we're going to come back with my guest, astrologer Eric Pride, as we get what the signs have in store for 2019. So we got Eric coming up here in a moment. I'm going to close some tabs here real quick. So be sure to share that around. We're going to take a quick break here in about 3 minutes. If you got any predictions for 2019, be sure to share them. I want to see where I got him, because I got to send him a message. All right, so I want to let him know to call in 2 minutes, because we're going to be live with him in the next segment of the show. Oh, shoot. I probably didn't give him the number. 81. And for those that are listening, the call-in numbers will be mentioned in the last half hour. And everything like that. So, again, if you want to make predictions for 2019, be sure to get them in and everything like that. You can post them here on Facebook Live. You can do it on the Spreaker chat. Of course, if you're listening anywhere else, I'll give out those numbers in the last half hour. My guests know the number to call in. I'm sorry, Eric, I forgot to give you the number. I thought I gave it to you, but sorry about that. But we'll get you on the show here in a moment. But when we come back from the first commercial break, we're going to be joined by astrologer. And yes, I said astrologist in my post. I'm sorry, I was thinking numerologist. And when I typed it up, I still went with astrologist, even though I know it was astrologer. So we're going to talk with astrologer Eric Pride, see what the signs have in store for 2019 when we come back from the commercial break. So we'll be right back after the short commercial break with my guest, Eric Pride. We'll be right back.
It's all in my head. 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 It's all in my head.
Are you a ghost hunter or paranormal enthusiast and need equipment to go out and investigate locations that have spirit activity? Well, GhostStop.com has all the equipment that you will need. They have a Boo Buddy ghost hunting kit for $169.95, or how about a Keep Calm and Ghost Hunt t-shirt for $19.95. Click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk in the Night website and get shopping today. GhostStop.com, your one-stop shop for all your ghost hunting needs. Do you have a paranormal team? Are you a small-time author? Do you have a radio show that you would like to promote? Is there anything that you would like to get the word out there about but don't have a big budget? Well, Talk in the Night has an opportunity for you to sponsor the show without breaking your wallet. Contact the show at talkinthetonight@outlook.com or on the show's website or Facebook page for more details. Do you think you have a haunted or cursed object? Well, Nicole Gaspard does, and in her book Haunted Vessels and Cursed Objects, she talks about her continued paranormal and supernatural ghost encounters, haunted dolls, and other items that are supposed to be haunted or cursed. Pick up your copy today on Amazon.com.
Voices in my head know me, call me. I will be restless. Somehow they chose me. This is my nightlife. Wanna be high life. I feel so reckless. Calling them all night.
Okay, and we are back into the second half hour of the first hour. And in this half hour, we're going to be joined by my guest, astrologer Eric Pride, as we get into what the signs have in store for 2019. So please welcome to the show my guest, Eric Pride. Please welcome to the show, Eric.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure to have you on again. I know I had you on briefly earlier, like a few months back, but it was just for a brief moment. But what do you see for 2019 as far as the astrological signs?
Sure. So did you want me to break down each sign or just kind of talk about the world as a whole, what's going on?
Well, I mean, I think we got enough time to break down each sign kind of briefly.
Sure. All right. So let's start with Aries. Okay. So, Aries, your ruling planet this year is going to be, obviously, as always, Mars, and it's going to be moving through Capricorn pretty much the entire year. So this is a really great position for Aries to be in, to really kind of jumpstart the year, to make some really incredible changes about work, particularly when we have the eclipse in January in Capricorn. That's going to strike your 10th house. So a lot of Aries are probably going to be seeing some career changes this year as well. Then we have that total solar eclipse in July. So they can expect some changes at home. And the changes that were made in their career in January, February are going to start to really kind of set off at the end of July with the final eclipse of the year that'll be in Capricorn. So 2019 is really about hitting the ground running with your career, making money, making an impact on the world. Now, what sign are you? Just out of curiosity.
I am a Capricorn. Yeah, my girlfriend is an Aries. So.
Okay. Alrighty. So you have those. You'll have that eclipse sitting on your. Sitting on your sun in January. So big changes for you coming on, but we will get to that when we get to Capricorn. So let's move on to Taurus. So Taurus, for those of you who don't know, your ruling planet is Venus, and Venus will not go retrograde this year. This past fall, for many people, was a challenging period in relationships. And Taurus specifically had a very difficult time because your ruling planet went retrograde. It doesn't go retrograde very often. And so this year is really kind of reviving from the personal stresses that are coming for there. Mm-hmm. The Jupiter retrograde starting in April is going to give you a lot of time for philosophical reflection and spiritual introspection. At this point, you're going to need to kind of confront some of your darker sides of yourself. We like to call this the dark night of the soul. So a lot of Tauruses are going to be going through a spiritual awakening this spring to kind of figure out what's going on, with their ulterior motives. You need to kind of face the shadows. So it's going to be a very personally transformative year for Taurus. Also, Uranus will be moving into your sign in March, finally, and this is really going to shake everything up, not just for the world, which we can talk about later, but for Taurus. So for the next 7 years, you're going to begin this kind of personal transformation. A lot of Tauruses are going to begin to be confronted with a lot of major changes in their life, changing jobs, changing homes, changing relationships. This whole Uranus period, it just really kind of shakes up our stability. Taurus doesn't necessarily like to be in unstable territory because it's one of the most stable signs in the zodiac. So you guys are going to have to kind of buckle up for a wild and exciting ride this year. And you want to take full advantage of that. Mm-hmm. When we look at Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so you guys get to kind of play around with all of the Mercury retrogrades that we have. But your ruling planet will have 3 retrograde periods this year. So that'll be March, July, and November. It's just going to kind of start in those late October periods. And you're going to be spending a lot of time this year harnessing your intuitive capabilities, particularly because your ruling planet will be retrograde in watery signs. Now, Geminis themselves are going to begin to start to have some water issues on a more mundane kind of outlook here. So check your hot water heaters, check your pipes in your home, and do your best to kind of maybe avoid boating this year. There's some trouble with water watch leaks, and as we approach the winter, you want to make sure that your pipes don't freeze if it gets too cold, because you're going to come up on some of those. With the Uranus transit that we talked about, because it's so huge, this is going to really kind of shake up what no longer works for you, possibly relationships. Geminis are going to need to get rid of things that are no longer useful in their life. What's run their course? Has it been a relationship that's run its course? Is it a job? Or does your even personal style kind of need an overhaul? You can expect in the spring those types of events to begin to creep up. The sun, obviously, is going to be spending its time in your sign, May into June, and this is going to be a very social period for you. So the summer is going to be really exciting. A lot of Geminis have spent much of 2019 in personal reflection, in kind of blocking themselves off from the world to reevaluate things that are in their lives, which is an unusual position for Gemini because you're such a social sign. But you'll see a return to that in the second half of this year. Moving on to Cancer, I'm liking to call this the year of Cancer because it's your year to really kind of take charge, much like Aries. So if Cancer, if you felt like you haven't really been in control of your own life or your own destiny or kind of where you want to head in the world, this year is going to be the opportunity for you to take your power back. Previously, in 2018, you've been probably retreating from, your comfortable shell, especially towards the end of 2018 was particularly rough for you as it was for much of the rest of the world. You probably got some bad news, possibly some bad experiences, various other disappointments. These are going to kind of begin to resolve themselves. You're going to feel much less exposed this year, much more confident, especially as the sun moves through your sign in June and July. As Pluto goes direct in Capricorn, because you're a cardinal sign, and so is Capricorn, it's going to put to rest some suspicions, that you've had for the past several months. You've been dealing with secrets or the uncertainty of people's motives. And that clarity is going to be coming into come to light in 2019 as you hurdle over some of those obstacles. So moving on to Leo, again, like Cancer and Aries, 2019 is all about you because it's the way you like to have things. You love to be the center of attention, obviously, as I'm sure you're well aware. But 2019 is really going to be more than just having things being about you. It's going to be much more about how you are approaching your social life. This is a fantastic year for you to begin to solidify friendships and relationships that have kind of been waiting in the wings. Drama, of course, then is going to kind of follow with some intensity. So particularly during those eclipse periods that I mentioned when I came on earlier, you want to watch out for those months because those are going to be where some of the skeletons are going to fall out of your closet. So this kind of all about you energy is going to shine not only some really amazing light, but also some the things that you have wanted to keep hidden. Venus is going to be in your sign at the end of the summer, so kind of like right after your birthday. And this is where love and romance really heats up for you. You always, of course, want to be adored by everyone around you, family, friends, your supervisor at work, everyone. But at this point, you're really going to be able to shine. So if you are a Leo who is single, this summer really could bring your true love to you. For those of you that are already in committed relationships, this is going to kind of rekindle or reignite the feelings that you've had that you may have lost touch with in the past. So Virgo, you couldn't be any happier that we are about to enter 2019 because 2018 has been kind of a roller coaster of up and downs for you. And the beginning part of 2019, you're still going to be feeling some of those effects, kind of torn between your emotions and your logic, as you're kind of battling a bit of what I like to call your best self. As the spring approaches, should I say, you're going to begin to really kind of refine that balance between your left brain and your right brain as family drama has kind of come to a close. August, when we get into like the heat of the summer up here in the northern hemisphere, is going to be the busiest month for you. You're going to be putting a lot of your time and energy as Mars, Venus, the Sun, and Mercury are all moving through your sign. So there's very little opportunity for any rest or downtime. So make sure that you enjoy the first part of summer, because as the summer begins to wind down and the fall approaches, you are going to be constantly on the go and waiting for, no one's going to be able to kind of wait for you. So make sure you don't forget your friends and family in the dust. One of the most important things to talk about this month is when your ruling planet Mercury, not only do they have their retrograde 3 times just like Gemini, but your ruling planet will enter your sign. And this is a particularly powerful placement to reestablish command and control in your life, particularly if in 2018 you've been feeling as though you've lost some control. So 2019 is all about regaining control, Virgo, and you should take the time to enjoy that, as long as you can get through the first couple months. As we move into Libra, so you're ruled by Venus, just like Taurus, and you won't have to endure any retrograde periods this year, which is always a good sign. And Libra, this year's focus is really about improving your personal relationships. And this isn't just romantic relationships. This is really about building those stable relationships with family, with friends, with everybody in your life. You want to feel that harmony and balance in your life. And this year, you're really going to be able to do that. However, you are going to be required to put in some work as it relates to the individuals that you want to reaffirm strong friendships and romantic relationships with.
Let's see.
I'm sorry, my mind just went blank there.
Yeah, don't worry, mine does that all the time sometimes.
Yeah, talking for 20 minutes straight, and then all of a sudden I just kind of lost it.
Good thing it's only a 30-minute segment.
I know. So Venus also moves into your sign in September, and this is when everything's really going to feel balanced. I would imagine that a lot of the Libras at this point are going to be getting engaged, reaffirming commitments, renewing vows. This is really just kind of the apex of all of the hard relationship work you've been doing. It's also a really good financial year for Libra as well. I did want to make sure I didn't mention that, because Libras are usually pretty concerned with how much money they're going to have to spend on new and exciting things, and it's not something that you're going to have to really worry a whole lot about once we get into the spring. First couple months, as we're moving out of 2018, certainly tighten the purse strings, but the majority of the year is financially good for you as well. So let's talk about Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. So you are what I like to call the secret keepers of the zodiac, which are always, you're very passionate, investigative, etc. So you have something very unique going on this year, and it is difficult to completely pin down because there are so many things going on in your chart at the same time. So 2019 really can be shaped however you want. So you really need to ask yourself, what do you want this year? What do you get excited about? What are you, where do you see your life going? It's really great because your ruling planet, Mars, will be direct all year, just like it is for Aries. So you really don't have to worry about losing any of this drive or ambition. A lot of Scorpios are going to see their bank accounts really increase this year. They're going to be making major gains at work and even in their personal relationships. Because your ruling sign starts in another sign that it rules through the beginning of the year, it gives you the ability to reach to those goals that you've only really been kind of dreaming about. Especially now that Jupiter is moving out of your sign into Sagittarius, which it already has for much of 2018. It had been in your sign. This is going to be a great time for Scorpios to lose some of that stubborn weight that they put on when Jupiter was moving through Scorpio. Excuse me. So your co-ruling planet is Pluto. It rules it with Mars, and it's continuing in responsible Capricorn, as we like to say. So with that, this is giving you an added boost of drive and ambition. and it's still going to continue to stay there for the next couple of years. So you really want to make the best use of this energy. Start a business, Scorpio. You really could make a difference in the world right now if you put your mind to it. All right, Sagittarius. Okay, go ahead. You were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to say we got about 10 minutes left in the segment, so I want to try and get through them as quickly as possible because about 5 minutes till we're going to get into where people can contact you and everything.
All right, then I'm going to breeze through these last couple really quickly. So Sagittarius, 2019 is really all about experiences. I see a whole lot of travel, going back to school, learning new things. It's all about learning very valuable lessons because 2018, you learned some rough ones. We move into Capricorn. This is going to be a very social year for you. Capricorn, you're usually a little bit more down to earth, more ambitious. This is a year where you're going to be able to let your hair down and kind of really enjoy the fruits of the hard work that you've put in over the course of your life. Aquarius.
I wish I could say that. But then again, like I said, I got an Aries girlfriend, and she's more free-flowing and everything like that. Got that fiery side to her because it's a fire sign, and I'm more of an earth sign, more down to earth and everything like that. So I'm pretty sure she's going to challenge my down to earth and pick up my pace a little bit.
Absolutely. It's a great combo for the year. Aquarius, this year is all about change. Your ruling planet is moving into Taurus. It is time to really shake things up. For you, most of the year is going to be about how you manage your money, and breaking down old traditions and old patterns. This is really about changing the status quo. So it's time to address any bad habits that you have, addictions, etc., because you really kind of need and want to change course and direction in your life, and 2019 is the year to do it. Finally, we come to Pisces. You are ruled by Neptune. It's still moving through your sign, which means that Pisces are still having all of these really sensitive life experiences. And 2019 is really going to have a lot to do with exposing some of the harsher realities. I wish I could say that something really wonderful was going to happen to you this year, Pisces, and I'm sure there's going to be periods that are really great. But 2019 is really about you finally addressing the harsh realities that you've worked so hard to avoid. Expect a lot of truth to come out, and make sure that you kind of honor that and accept that with an open mind.
All right.
And those are your thoughts.
Yeah. All right. So we got a couple minutes before we can talk about where people can contact you and everything like that. But if you don't mind, get into a little bit about what the signs have to say about 2019 in general.
Yeah, 2019 in general is going to be an extremely challenging year for our country, first and foremost. We're not even going to talk about globally right now because we're approaching our Pluto return. Our country is entering this period of chaos, which it has for the last 2 years when it came into orb. But as Uranus moves into Taurus in the spring, we are really going to see a shaking of the foundation of stability in this country. I really feel like, the last time Uranus was in Taurus, we had the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl. The country really learned a new way of looking at money and wealth, and I really feel like that is going to be changing. We know that, the Uranus also rules technology, so cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, etc., have recently had huge major falls, but I feel that that's going to restabilize in the spring, and over the next couple of years, beginning with this year, we are really going to see, I believe we're going to really start to see a change towards digital currency that's going to kind of begin this year. The eclipses that we have are two of them are in Capricorn, which are Earth and stable signs. That makes me really nervous for the economy. And then we've got that Jupiter sextiling Neptune and the Jupiter that will then square Neptune. So we're getting this, which won't happen again, until 2025. which can feel very optimistic, but our country and world as a whole really needs to prepare for some major changes, because this shift of Uranus into Taurus, which won't happen again for another 84 years, is really going to shake the very foundation of what we in this country hold as secure and stable. And that is my big kind of prediction for the year. We just need to really be cautious with our bank account and your money.
Mostly, you're seeing more kind of like instability in the U.S. is basically what you're saying.
Yes, I think that we have especially with Jupiter and Sagittarius, we have the opportunity to avoid that if we can embrace a little bit harmony and think outside the box. But Uranus and Taurus, if you go back every year that had occurred for the last couple hundred years, because it happens once every 84 years, we see a huge decline and collapse of securities in the United States, and we really need to kind of self-examine that. So I think that 2019 is going to be a seminal and kind of introductory year to where our country is headed financially, which I believe is going to change drastically.
Okay, yeah, and of course, at the start of the show, I made a couple of my predictions for 2019, and one of them was civil unrest here in the U.S. and around the world, of course, but prevalently here in the U.S. So I got a feeling that's going to happen. But it's been already started. So tell people where they can contact you if they want to find out more about astrology and find out more about their sign.
Yeah, absolutely. My website is yourpersonalastrologer.com. That's one word, yourpersonalastrologer.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Eric Pride Consulting Astrologer. You can follow me on Twitter at Eric Astrology, and on Instagram at Eric Astrology.
All right. So thank you again for coming on the show. I'm trying to figure out how to fill this last 2 minutes before the break, and everything like that. Quick, is there anything that you see as far as the signs go, as far as the rest of the world, real quick?
Sure. Well, I mean, it won't just be the U.S. that's affected by Uranus entering Taurus. Yeah. You know, I just kind of focused because we're also in the crux of a Pluto return. But as far as globally, that will, of course, shake the world economy. You know, a lot of the trans-Neptunian planets have been entering and hitting intense fire and water energy, which is why we've seen, you know, so many fires out west. But globally, because of that fire, I really feel like we're going to be looking at a volcanic eruption at some point around the world. And if I had to place a bet, and I am a bit of a betting man, I would say that it's going to be coming in the spring.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on short notice. Thank you again, and it's a pleasure having you on the show. All right, so in the next half hour, we're going to get to Alma's call here in a moment. But in the next, we're going to have Alma Carey on the show talking about her psychic predictions for 2019. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Remember back when, dreaming about the life we didn't realize had to get there'd be sacrifice. We didn't take into account the craziness of life. Remember setting up those speakers, calibrating lights, hoping that our friends would come support us for the night. And maybe 20 in a crowd, we thought we owned the world. Look at me now, like I was stunting on my old girl. Heard she came through for a bit. I was like, word. Julia moved to San Fran, now he's taking over. Mickey and Jason moved to Aspen, their life started over. But when we talk these days, don't feel a day has passed. Still the same sand within that hourglass. Austin, wish I saw you more. I'm happy that you're doing good. Overdue for a team reunion. We probably should.
Do you have a talk radio, Facebook Live, or YouTube show and would like guests for your show but don't know where to go to get them? Well, go to radioguestlist.com and sign up today. They have all different experts in different fields, and you can find the ones that are just right for your show. That's radioguestlist.com. Sign up today. It's free.
If you like finding out about different things in the paranormal field, such as ghost stories, haunted locations, UFOs, cryptozoology, and much more, well, check out Into the Paranormal on YouTube, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Videos are posted once a week. To read about the story of Giant Rock and see the trailer of Giant Rock the movie, just click on the link on the Talk of the Night website and it'll take you right there. GiantRockTheMovie.com.
I've called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done, but when I call you, never seem to be home. Hello from the outside, at least I can say that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter.
Okay, and we are back with Talk of the Night. Now, in this half hour, we're going to be joined by my friend and Psychic Alma Carey as we talk about her predictions for 2019. Again, I am on Facebook Live, but I'm not paying too much attention to that till the last half hour. And during the show, I do have the chat room open on Spreaker, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in there and everything. So please welcome my guest for this half hour, Alma.
Hey, how's it going? Everybody, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Everybody have a good time, and it's never too late to create a whole new reality for yourselves. And for all of us, it's better than whatever happened before.
Mm-hmm. All right.
How do you like that?
That was a good start. All right. So what do you see for 2019? We already got in the first hour astrologer to go over what the signs, see what each sign is got coming for them. But what do you see coming from 2019?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I didn't listen to the beginning, and I try not to take anybody else's point of view when I'm trying to get my own and what I'm receiving. This is strictly from me and what I was taking a look at.
Yeah.
One thing, unusually enough, is I got this really, really strongly that this coming year, and I think it will be in 2019, we will find actual artifacts, and we will have more close encounters with extraterrestrials this coming year. And that was the most unusual thing that came to me as I was taking a look to see what it was. Now, I myself have experienced this before, but, you know, it just went as far as it went. And this is many years ago, many years ago that I experienced these things, but they are ready to come back in. So they're ready to show up and show us who they are, and that we're not alone in the universe, and that there's a lot more going on than they think, than anyone thinks, and there's going to be quite a big comeuppance in a lot of things. So that's number one. That will be, I get that this will be around the summertime of this year when more things will be discovered that are literally, I guess you could say, not from this planet, and things that very purposefully mean we really better get our act together. That's another thing. So that's one.
Now, of course, I saw something and I forgot to mention it in the first hour, but it kind of goes what you saw right there. But the prediction was made by somebody else. And, of course, I've never mentioned this to you or anything like that, so people know. But the prediction was that more crashes of UFO will be more prevalent in 2019 with our extraterrestrial neighbors becoming more of our friends.
Good. And there's more than just one group out there, There are different kinds of people and different kinds of things coming in. So, in a way, our world will be united, and because we will be the Earth with people from Earth, and the others will be entities from other places. And that is amazing that somebody else came in with the same thing for 2019. I'm glad that came in that way.
I'm just trying to remember where I saw it, but I know it wasn't. I don't think it was from Edgar Casey or Nostradamus, but it was from somebody. I forget where I saw it.
Oh, okay. And this was specifically 2019?
Yes.
How about that? Well, I never read it.
Yeah.
I know nothing about anybody else's predictions but what I received myself, because I don't like to have, my own, perceptions.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I go into a location, I want to know nothing of the location. I want to let my abilities do their work. Yes.
And that's one of the main things I came up with, and I was completely surprised that was the first thing that I got, So that's number one. Another thing, too, is that we've got to heal the Earth. It will become much more prevalent, much more prevalent, that we have got to heal the Earth, and there will be major movements. All of these beginning around this summer of 2019. All kinds of movements regarding the water, the air, everything, because we are unable to evolve. We're unable to take in the toxins fast enough to preserve our DNA and to preserve, the human species or anything else as we know it with what, we're putting into the atmosphere. And that's just something that's coming in whether we like it or not. And so Big Pharma and all those folk are going to have to deal with it. There's also going to be something that can be attached and taken with them wherever they go to any water source. People who want to take water with them, when they're out, anything at all, where it will take all of the microbes, or not microbes, but the maybe microbes, but the
pollutants.
Yeah. So this is the year when we suddenly have to deal with health once and for all, everywhere. And another thing also is that this is the year when it's going to be intensely shocking to some humans that animals are far more intelligent, far more able to communicate very specifically than they ever knew before. Just as humans have been evolving, so have animals.
And of course, there's another prediction that you didn't know about and you didn't hear about, but it was, I'm just trying to find it because I read it in the first half hour. I'm trying to find out who mentioned it. Was Nostradamus, Edgar Casey, or I think it was Edgar Casey. But I'm just trying to find it. But it mentioned about people communicating with animals, and I'm just trying to find where. Well, I know I had it. I just can't find it right this second. But who said it? But I know it was one of them that said that communication between animals will be more prevalent.
Yes. Yes. And all of our links will become much more obvious. So it's like we all have to be our brother's keeper. We all have to be our animal's keeper. We all have to be the keeper of the plant and the rock. We all have to do it. And this is the year where it all comes together once and for all, at least where it says you can't ignore this anymore. And regarding another thing, too, is that those folk who have been brave enough to come up with alternatives to Big Pharma, and I don't want to put down Big Pharma, as something to put down. They have come up with some amazing things, drugs and antibiotics and things like that really have saved our lives. But on the occasion when they try to bypass our own natural healing abilities, and in other words, now is the time. They cannot ignore it anymore, So this is the year, and I realize everything has come together. The Internet, all the information, all those people that have been brave enough to come up with not alternative, but natural healing. It will be known that, unfortunately, they have been being squeezed out of the mainstream. I know that people already know this, so that my predictions not like necessarily earth-shaking in terms of absolutely brand new, but I know that this is the year when there will be much more intense focus and sheer need to do this. So there we have it.
Yeah, and of course, I've forgot to mention it in the first half hour, too, is another prediction that I made, and of course, I didn't mention this to you, nobody else, or anything like that, but I see more of a spiritual awakening coming for 2019.
Oh, you got it. I'm glad that you saw that. And even you and I right now on the phone doing this was not done 10 years ago. Just 10 years ago, we couldn't do this, right? We would have been in some kind of private, interaction somewhere, maybe talking, unusual little groups or cliques or something. And look at this. We're both communicating freely on the subject right now, being very aware of all of this, So I'm glad you're doing that. I'm glad you asked me to be on, and that's wonderful. And I know you're a good psychic as well.
Yeah. Well, I've had one guest that was on my show earlier in the year, near the beginning of the year. A numerologist, she's going to be on later on in the show. But she also mentioned that I am extremely psychic, as you already know, and a light worker and everything like that, which I already knew.
Good.
So,
Good.
but yeah, no, like I said, I see more people opening to the spiritual awakening and being more prevalent in our world today and everything like that.
Yes, absolutely. It comes from all sources. There's many people that they may or may not seek each other out, as friends or associates in regular average social life. And yet each one is awakening to their own spirituality and hence bringing it all together. So, incidentally, I think that there will be some instrumentation. One moment. Some instrumentation where, let me think. Some instrumentation where each and every one of us can be tested regarding our ability to do psychic, telepathy and send energy and everything. I know that there is certain ways that can be done, but there is a certain way to also have a person sitting in a kind of an environment, like maybe a, what do you call that when you have the infrared or the energy light, when you see those colors?
Yeah, shoot.
That's
I
called.
know what it is, and I just, the spectrum.
That. Yes. And you can actually sit in a room, and you can actually see somebody send energy over. And there'll be much more of that. I saw it once a long time ago on, who were those people? Those are the ghost hunters or ghostbusters, or who were those two folk, or the people that were plumbers and then they ran off?
That, I believe, was ghost hunters.
I like them. But they did that at one place. They said there was something very unusual about one man, so they tried something specifically with him when he was sitting there. He was supposed to be a medium, and he actually communicated with them via the energy, and they had turned on all that equipment, and you could actually see a wave of energy engulf one and then another. So that was just amazing. In other words, you could actually see what the fellow was doing. And who was that fellow? Jason? Is it Jason Hall?
Yeah.
Is that the one? I think.
Yeah.
I have the name right. And he said he felt incredibly better. He had not been feeling good or something, and the fellow actually just enveloped him with a certain kind of energy, and you could see the flow of energy go from the medium and the healer, the clairvoyant, over to Jason Hall and envelop him, and it was just absolutely mind-blowing. So we're going to have a lot more of that, and that way we'll also see who's doing what to whom. Talk about an invasion of privacy. You'll know who's your friend and who's zapping you and what's going on and what's happening and the whole thing. And you just be put in a room with that.
I wish I had that kind of technology available on one night that I was over at David's house when he did the two-house tour and everything like that. That second house next door to his, not the one that was being built or is sitting empty pretty much, but the other one that was there on the night of the murders. Well, a lot of people were coming out of that house feeling physically ill. One lady was an empath and everything like that. She was new to her abilities, and she was out there on the streets feeling like she wanted to throw up and everything like that. So I used my energy to help her out. I said, stand up, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, listen to my voice, and picture the brightest white light that you can imagine. And of course, I was projecting that white light onto her as well as her pulling up that white energy. And she, within like 2 minutes, she felt instantly better.
Good. Well, you're a natural healer, and you've been told that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The thing is, you have to know how to protect yourself as well. Yeah. You can't open yourself so much because it can have a draining effect, and you have to kind of watch out for that, So
yeah, that's why I close myself off quite a bit of times, so that way I'm not getting too well into other things, because 2018 was a lot of bad stuff energy wise happening to me, and I'm working on it to where 2019 is going to be a lot better.
It definitely is. I definitely is. So how are we doing time wise? Are we on or off?
We still got about 10 minutes left in your segment.
Cool.
So what else do you see coming for 2019?
Well, many more machines. For example, I didn't write them down because they were sort of flickering in my attention. but there will be many, many more electronic, robotic machines, just pure machines, so that we will be dealing with many more, what do you call that? Smartphones, smart this, smart that, things like that, many, many more.
Yeah, a lot of that's been coming.
And also, the movie 2001, I think we're going to suddenly begin making incredible leaps and bounds. Well, it won't be 2001, but it'll be 2020 or 2021. There's going to be something about our immediate life and conditions on Earth where bad things just can't continue. People cannot continue to rip other people off. It can't just be, the rich and the rich and powerful. It's okay to be rich and powerful. It depends on how you do it, but they won't be able to do it. They're going to notice that that's not a good thing. When I say that, I mean it's going to have repercussions upon them individually, privately, and they're going to really see it. So, it's like, how much can you ignore? How much can you overlook? How indifferent can people be to negative energy, negative behavior? Even the most self-centered, selfish folk will even notice they have to be nicer because their own power is being taken away by their own actions. So it's going to be an interesting time. I was realizing this. It can't continue the way it's been. Also, there's a thing that's going on with street drugs, and I call them street drugs, and I might get a lot of repercussions or, a lot of replies from this. But street drugs deaden feelings. So that's another thing. People will not so very easily accept drugs of all kinds, especially when they deaden feelings. They deaden emotion, they deaden empathy, they deaden sensitivity, they deaden these things, and that's not going to be a good thing. So all of these things are going to peak, and I say that they will be peaking. Now, we were attempting to focus between 2019. On 2019, a lot will begin then, but a lot will come to a very sharp head in 2021, actually, 2021, right, that's it. So there we have it. I don't know what else to say, except we can't continue as we have been. We cannot continue as we have been. No. Each of us are our brother's keeper, and we have to deal with that, period.
Now, of course, and I know I don't want to lead you any direction or anything like that, so, because I know I don't like to be tainted in my predictions and everything like that, or what I see, but what do you see as far as, like, the Pope? There's been predictions made that he's going to resign, he's going to be assassinated. Of course, everything... Stuff comes out like that.
No, the Pope is just fine. Just to be spooky on my own part, I'm a little bit familiar with spreading negative propaganda. There was a certain group of people I used to know, and I found out about some of their inner workings, and it's very ugly, and they will do absolutely anything to destroy an individual's reputation and, holdings, everything. So if you hear anything about the Pope, that Pope is fine. The one we've got right now, he's fine.
Okay, yeah, because these were actual predictions from like Nostradamus and Edgar Casey. Mm-hmm. But like I said at the start of the show, no psychic is ever going to be 100% right. Even prophets, even Edgar Casey and Nostradamus have gotten things wrong. So, like I said, no psychic is ever going to be 100% right, because if we were, we'd be winning the lottery every time.
I know.
So,
well, anyway, no, this guy's a good guy. He's a good guy. And as a matter of fact, there's a Pope, and, Pope, Dalai Lama, and all these other folk. They're going to, join forces and finally, once and for all, handle it, because it's almost like they represent the soul. They represent the soul. They represent the better things. They represent the simplicity of the soul reaching up. You know, they pretty much represent what, in a sense, what I've been mentioning. And then the others, the ones who are more interested in generating income, unfortunately, they fall prey to wanting more and more. And so they will cut corners, and they will poison earth, and they will lie, and they will, withhold, and, like who was that fellow that, the EpiPen, something about $7,000 or whatever on earth that man was doing about what was it, an EpiPen or something?
Something like that.
How could he? But he did. So that's it. That's it on him. That's it on stuff like that, But it is.
Now, of course, with me, I tend to focus, or not focus, but I try not to. I've tried to get away from getting these negative vibes and everything like that. I tried getting rid of that, but there are times that those nasty predictions come through.
Yes.
Like, I'll give you an example. 2005, before Hurricane Katrina hit, even hit the east coast of Florida. It was still out in the Atlantic. I was looking at a map because it was showing that it was going to go up and turn up the coast. I'm like looking at the map, and I'm going, wait, no, right there. And I pointed on the exact same spot that the eye of the hurricane hit.
Oh, my, yeah.
Before it even hit the East Coast. Now, of course, I think a lot of that has to do because of me being a Capricorn, an earth sign, so I'm more in tune with earth changes and everything like that. So we got about 3 minutes. We got about 3 minutes left in the your segment and everything. So tell everybody where they can contact you if they want a reading or find more about you.
Probably they can go through, I would probably say my website, which would be almacarey.com, I think. I think that's what it is, almacarey.com, www.almacarey.com. And or if they can reach me through Facebook, that would be awesome. That would be Alma Carey. And that's about it. But they certainly can reach me through that for right now. If they want something, if they want to speak with me privately, all they need to do is let me know that they want to do some consulting. And they'll see some, some videos or things I've done on TV, where I hit the nail on the head. Right there in front of you, so there's no doubt as to what I do. Probably those two things. I would give my phone number. It's very easy to get, but unfortunately...
I'll let people contact you to get that. We don't want to give it out on the air and everything like that. Let you choose and pick up that energy on who you want.
I
don't want to give it to where people can just go crazy and everything like that. Even I don't do that. Just because I don't want my energy being drained. I've already went through that many times before, and I'm trying to get away from that to more of a light energy and everything like that, especially since I started a new page to do psychic readings. Let's see, what else do I do on the services offer? Cleansing of homes or businesses, energy healing, and also just advice. So I'm doing that page, trying to get some money flowing from that. So I figure stop giving my gift away free when people are not respecting it, so I might as well charge for it. And again, I'm completely honest. I'm completely honest when it comes to psychic abilities. Like I said, nobody's ever going to be 100% right, so I leave it at that. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know it was last moment, but thank you again. We're going to be right back after the short commercial break with my friend and guest, Lilia Cameron Willis. We'll be right back. Bye. This Christmas, pick up a copy of Lloyd Champion's book, Bringing the Paranormal Field Out of the Dark Ages for just $2.99 on Kindle, or purchase the paperback for just $9.99 when you click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk of the Night website. Also, this Friday during open lines, you have a chance to win a free Kindle copy of the book. For a limited time only, get 70% off a digital version of Creation Abomination when you click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk of the Night website and mention Talk of the Night. Also, if you click on the Goodreads link beside Alan Thompson's picture on the Guest of the Show page on the show's website, you will be entered into a contest where you could win a free digital copy of his book. Only 100 are be given away. On Friday night, one lucky listener will have a chance to win a copy of Antichrist, the Clone Image of Jesus Christ by Dr. Joy Pugh, the new updated 2017 edition. The winner must call into the show to win the book during the live open line broadcast.
Like I have to go nowhere. If someone ever asks me, I can never say where I'll be. And people say that someday I will lose my mind. They're always wondering why is a waste of time. I am trying to figure why. In my heart I still feel fire. Anything that has been done to fix it, or why it takes so long. Why it takes so long. Why it takes so long.
Okay, and we are back. The fourth half hour of the show, and of course in this half we're going to be joined by my guest Lilia as we get her predictions for 2019 and everything like that. So please welcome to the show, Lilia.
Hi, and I'd like to say thank you for inviting me tonight, Phil. It was a pleasure to be part of this show, and thinking about 2019 is already around the corner, you know.
Yep.
And some of the predictions that I will share with you tonight. I'm going to start with the good stuff first, okay? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
Okay,
my,
this is...
thing ready
this
here
is
so
going-
I can start typing them down.
Okay, sure.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is going to be a great year in respect to activity and communication, and important communication for us. I want to say, meaning the humankind will be able to maybe communicate with animals, and this I read somewhere, but I'm saying that this time, even though it's been told before, it will happen when we will be able to communicate with animals in a better manner than we had communicated thus far. And then we have another great thing happening. I think that we will be not so resistant to change. People will start accepting change. So they always say it gets worse before it gets better. I heard this before, right? Yeah. And I think we had seen a pattern of people being resistant to change and being resistant for different ethnicities, different people that look different or they maybe have a different capacity. Then I think it's going to be a good year because it's going to set up a precedent for good change, for acceptance. And also, it's going to be time for us to learn to coexist in the world. And at the same time, when we begin to accept each other like that, it will be time to learn how to save and how to spend money. Because I think there is a huge gap between those who do not have and those who have. And we see it more and more. But this upcoming year is going to define what is going to be happening for the next 10 years. And this prediction is not just for the next year, but I'm talking about a trend, hopefully, that is in the making. Yeah. The next good thing that I see is, Alexa's in the background, sorry.
That's all right.
The sun, I see a sun of positive thinking, of inspiring and success, especially. I'm going to give this one, send this one to you because I see it for you. I want to include everybody, but I want to say this one specifically, I see you having the power of positive thinking that is going to inspire you to have more success in your daily life. I see that you perhaps maybe even considering a different line of work in addition to what you already have. There it is. Sorry that I said it out here in public.
That's all right.
I think all your friends and the public will be happy to hear that you'll have a good year in that respect. So now, here we go with some of the things that I've been having dreams about, or not so good dreams. I don't want to call them nightmares, but some of the things that I had seen.
More of a darker vision.
Exactly. Not everything is rosy, right? So,
don't worry, I get a lot of those.
Yes. A nation, and I would not give you exactly, unless you can pinpoint it, but one of those Asian nations will suffer a loss in one of their leaders. And this will be either an attack to the leader or he will suddenly announce that he's ill. But we are going to, perhaps we may hear about it, we may not, but I see that, foresee that. Also, the Queen of England. She's already...
As far as her losing, like a battle with health issues, or...
Exactly. She's already been having issues, but we haven't heard about it. I see that she's having issues already, but it's going to be made public, where we all going to learn about it. The world will learn about it. So, 2019, it's going to be for the Queen, at least, for what I see, it's going to be a tough one.
Now, is that like a loss of life, or is that more of dealing with health issues?
How about if I say both?
Both? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's one of the darker visions that I...
Yeah, I just want to get it down in my thing, so that way when I post all the predictions that were made by my guests, myself, Nostradamus, Edgar Casey, and other people. I want to have a list of all the predictions.
Okay.
So that way, when the end of 2019 comes, I can read 2019's predictions for the following year when I do this show again.
That's neat. Okay. So the next one will be, this is a good one. It's going to be a celebration of winning for the south part of the world, the working class, winning and celebrating. I think a change for something of a government. I don't want to say just Mexico. I think it's other countries in South America that will be celebrating because of the liberation of the people and how they will be back to have more freedom, especially for the working class. I'm speaking of that I see them celebrating and us learning about it. And anything that happens to the world, good or bad, does affect us. And I believe that when we start saying, oh, the people from this place and the people from that place, we are so wrong. We're affecting each other because we're all, I believe that we all are as one, right? And so, but anyway, you may think differently, and that's okay. I respect that, but that's just what I believe. So in order for things, for when one wants things to go better, then we hopefully will see this happening for them. So it will affect us positively. The next one will be, okay, this one is kind of controversial, but I'm going to say it because it's there. The President of the United States may or could suffer a loss of a family member that is very close to him due to violence, due to an attack. There's just I just see that the dislike for this president is daily, growing and growing. It's not in a good way. It's just one of those things. So he could suffer a loss, or at least quite close. It could be quite close to someone in his family being hurt, and because of not that it's his fault, but indirectly, yeah, could be. So also, Southern California, I do not see earthquakes. I'm so glad because I live in California. And they keep on saying, oh, the big one is coming. No, I see that we will have minor earthquakes, nothing so significant to affect us. Yeah. Do you see that too?
Well, I mean, I didn't see that. I didn't focus on that for this year yet. I might do that later, but last year I saw the whole thing about the wildfires and the increased natural disasters for last year, so I saw that coming. But I haven't focused on that region. But now in 2019, I'm going to pull it up because I want to see who made that prediction about, it was Nostradamus talking about a 8.0 to 9.2 earthquake on the West Coast. And, of course, when I was talking to Alma the last half hour, we would talked about no psychic is ever going to be 100% right. Even Nostradamus has gotten things wrong. So so that's...
Let's hope he's wrong.
Yeah, for you guys at least.
Well, there is an earthquake that I see of significant, relevance happening, and that is in Europe, East Europe. I don't see the exact country, but I see it's in Europe, and it's in the east side. For California, not just yet. There will be. That's science science tells us that there will be a big earthquake, but I think for 2019, I at least don't see that, but it could be. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Now, because I mean, last year I saw like increased numbers of natural disasters and everything like that. Of course, I saw the fires coming, but I didn't think to mention it to anybody because it was something that I was not quite sure about if it was going to happen or not, and stuff. And I probably should have mentioned. People might have wakened to it a little bit, but some people might have thought I was crazy too. But
no, I don't think so. No, if you would have told me, I wouldn't think you're crazy.
No, well, not you or anybody that knows me, but people that don't know me personally might. But I did see that coming. And then, of course, I saw the increased number of earthquakes and the ring of fire and stuff like that. As I mentioned, I'm a Capricorn. I'm an earth sign. So I'm more prevalent to pick up on earth changes.
I see. Okay, well, that's fantastic. And I hope you don't see any significant earthquakes for California.
I'll let you know this year. I'll let you know this time if I do.
Please
but
do.
Yeah, speaking of earthquakes, real quick, there have been people that said actually the New Madrid fault line could go off before the San Andreas could, which runs along the Mississippi River, so that's a little closer to me.
Oh boy. Yeah, talking about that goes to my next prediction. The climate and weather will continue to drastically change for the whole entire world, and therefore there will be calamities, and it will be something as storms. I've been dreaming of dust storms, smoke, also in as fires in places, perhaps. Something of that nature. And of course the rain that for some places it will be just too much. And I hope that's not happening for 2019, but that's one thing that I have seen time and time again.
Speaking of heavy rain, and I'm going to get to it here in a second, who made that prediction? I think it was Edgar Casey, possibly, but let's see, or was it Nostradamus? It was Nostradamus. He talked about Hungary, Italy, the Czech Republic, and Great Britain will deal with more extreme flooding.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's probably where it's going to hit.
Oh, I see. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll check on this next year. So I still have 10 more minutes. There's a couple more things, and then let's see. There is going to be a great deal of activity, and sudden activity like that, where we are going to be able to heal people immediately. Where science is going to advance at a faster pace than it's been for the past 10 years. But the saddest part is that it's not going to be accessible to everyone. It's something that is already possibly there, but it's a secret, and it's only kept for those who can afford such science. But eventually it'll come out to the regular people out here, and we can enjoy that because there is already such thing as immediate results of healing. And I'm not sure if I quite understood or heard correctly when you were talking. I just got out the last part of the segment with Alma, and you guys were talking about healing or doing more work of the light, and I think it has to do...
me doing more light work.
Oh, okay. Yes, and I think part of that instant and immediate results could be due to the fact that we're being more open to practice those types of discipline where we could believe in other people, helping us heal. Definitely, I see that. That's something that I don't have a doubt in my mind that we'll be speaking next year, and you and I if we're still alive, knock on wood, we will be talking about some of the discoveries that they will come and reveal.
Yeah, now there are predictions made by Nostradamus. It was made last year, and I don't know who made it last year, but it was. But this year, for 2019, Nostradamus made the prediction of advancements in medicine in science, where people could live to the age of 200, and that's probably what you're talking about, is the advancing healthcare as far as it being more geared towards the rich for now, but later on down the line for us.
Yes, I think so. And then my last prediction has to do with balance in the working of multiple jobs and projects at once and making work fun. I don't know if you're familiar with the term of ghost employment or something like that, where people shows up to work for 2 weeks and then they quit, and they cannot be found. They cannot call them. They cannot find them anywhere. I think that that time is here, and we will see a trend of where the younger kids and the new generation is learning to do work for them. In other words, more fun. It's not going to be as tedious. It's not going to be as it was for us. Obviously that all generations are different. I understand that. But for this group, it's going to be very important to have balance. They're going to appreciate more to be with the family, to have a life, versus just working and not having time.
Life away, basically.
Basically, yes.
And just a second, I'm just typing something down. I have a hard time typing and talking at the same time, just because I like to think of what I'm typing.
Yes.
But yeah, so, I see things. Of course, our world is becoming more and more electronic and everything like that. Machinery's taking over as far as doing a lot of jobs that a lot of people used to do. Technology is advancing so quickly and everything like that we're having to adapt to that.
I think so.
And of course, that's why I'm trying to get. I mean, of course, the day job that I have now, it's tough on me, especially with the possibility of me having Parkinson's disease. But I won't know that until I see a neurologist. But I'm trying to learn new things, and I'm trying to get my radio show going to where I can sit at home and do this a few hours each day and everything like that, rather than stand on my feet 8 hours a day. Also with my page Paranormal Phil, which I'm going to mention later on in the show, where people can find out about the services I offer, as far as my gift as a psychic, a empath, and also a light worker, where I do cleansings, personal readings, energy healing, and also give out advice. I've been on this earth a long time and everything like that. So I figure I'd rather help other people. So so that's basically what you're seeing for 2019.
Yes,
and of course beyond.
That's exactly more or less what my visions are. And so I'm going to just does that in there? No, you would not have Parkinson's. I don't see that. But anyway, ask your neurologist, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a nerve. It could be a nerve problem, but as far as looking at the signs after I was told that I possibly had it, that I started looking up the early signs after that, and of course, I showed a lot of the signs, but again, I could be reading too much into it. I got too much going on in my personal life that it's hard to focus right now. Hopefully all that changes in 2019, where I can be more focused on one thing at a time rather than multiple things, which I'm already getting a good start. I don't want to mention it on the air just in case my girlfriend listens. But that's one good thing, and she'll be happy to know that you say that I don't have Parkinson's. So, right.
Well,
So, tell people where they can contact you, find information about you if they want a reading from you and everything like that.
I will say that they can email me. The following email is angelcards777 @gmail.com. I only do readings by appointment. As you know, I have my career, and that keeps me quite busy, but I like to, like you, help people and do other type of, healing and readings for people, so they can contact me at angelscard777 @gmail.com. I'll be happy to schedule an appointment for them for a reading, and if nothing else, it's been a pleasure to hear from you.
I got my next guest calling in a little bit early.
Yes.
Hold on. I don't want to bring her on. I'll have her call back here in a second. Sorry.
Well, that's fine. We can say goodbye. You have a great night. Goodbye, everyone.
You.
Bye.
All right. So we're a little early. Is this Miss M?
Yes, this is.
Okay, you're a little early. We got about 3 minutes left to the half. So I'm going to take my commercial break here, and then we'll get into your segment. So I'll
what
take
time?
Yeah,
so like
it's
10
like
minutes or something?
3 minutes until we go to the break. So that's all right. We'll take a little quick commercial break, and we'll come back pretty much at the
total how many minutes?
top. Well, we got 3 minutes until the top of the hour.
Okay, so like 7 minutes?
Yeah, so about, about 3 minutes and 40 seconds until we come back with your segment. For those listening, we're going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with my guest, Miss M. And if you want to find out more about Lilia and everything like that, you can check out her by sending a message to her and everything like that. So we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
People gonna keep on talking about me, but they don't understand the work that I do when they're not around me. They don't understand the life I chose, the nights alone, the highs and lows. They keep on talking about me, but they don't understand
What it feels like, everything that's wrong always ending up to feel right. I know I've been gone, but my dreams becoming real life. The closer that
To purchase a signed copy of the CD Red Omen at 10% off, mention Talk in the Night. With this purchase, you will get a free download of the Red Omen album and one of any other of Ed's album downloads, plus a special link to watch the new Red Omen video for a limited time. It's not available anywhere. Email Michael at mtsmanagementgroup.com to take advantage of this deal. When you go to findingmargaret.com and mention Talk in the Night, you can purchase a signed copy of the book Finding Margaret for just $10. Go to findingmargaret.com and send an email saying you heard about the book on Talk in the Night and get your copy today. When you subscribe to Sylvia Schultz's YouTube channel on the video Lights Out number 63, The Farmhouse Fiend, and mention Talk in the Night in the comments, you will be entered into a drawing for a copy of her books, Hunting Demons, and her newest book, Spirits of Christmas. Just click on the banner ad on the Talk in the Night website. Okay, and we are back with the last hour of the show, and of course, my guest called in a little bit early, but that's okay. We'll get into her predictions, what the numbers have in store for 2019 here in a second. Again, the last half hour of the show, we're going to open up the phone lines where you, the listeners, can call in and share your stories. Share your predictions for 2019. I'm so used to saying that for open lines, stories, experiences, and questions. But no, just the predictions for 2019. You can enter them on Facebook Live, which I'm live on Facebook, and also on, of course, all the websites that I've mentioned before. So please welcome to the show, Miss M. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Okay, I just want to apologize. I did not know that we were live on air. I would never be so rude as to ask when my segment was on. I'm so sorry to the previous guest. Please forgive me. I apologize to the audience. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
That's all right. It happens. All right. So what do the numbers have in store for 2019? Okay.
All right. Well, first, I'd like to talk about the stock market. Okay, this is a 3 universal year. Okay, 2019 is a 3 universal year. 2018 was a 2, an 11-2, not just a 2, but an 11-2, and so 3 is the universal year number for 2019. Now, what that means, and I want everybody to listen really closely, okay, because it's really important. This is a year of creativity and reinventing yourself. So if you have a dream, if you have something that you've been wanting to do and really get started on or implement, whatever it is, this is the year to do it. Now, there is a caveat because the year is, a 3 is a number of good fortune and creativity and sex and communication, and it's a lot of times the energy is just, it's so high. It can be a lot different from the 2, which is duality, and it's not just 2 again, it was an 11-2. You can lose yourself in just talking about what you're going to do, instead of doing it. So everybody out there, talk less, do more. Write down your goals and try and stick to a timeline, because the energy is so high, it can be so positive that you can get lost in the positivity of it all. Like, oh yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and all, and then we're going to get together with this guy and we're going to go to the studio and all. Talk less, do more, and try and stay grounded, because the energy is going to be a little fabulous. So, but it's going to be very good for your creative project. So if there's something that you want to do, this is the year to do it. But write your goals down. Oh, I mean, that goes for every year. But this year, the energy, it's not like a 4-year, it's not like a 6-year. It's not like, it's a 3-year, very heady, can be very light. So remember your goals, read them every day, and stick to them. And, have fun. It's a year of fun. But remember that this year you can really get a lot done with creative projects. And also, I want to say it's a year where older people, like not teenagers, are going to be succeeding in the creative field, in the entertainment field. So you're going to see a lot of like actors past, 20, even 30, even 40, even 50, getting their big break. And the same thing with musicians and all types of creative fields, artists. There are people that are going to be, they're going to come on the scene, you're going to be like, well, you're an overnight success, and, of course they'll laugh and cry, right? Because of course they're not. It's taken a lot of work. So that's the view at 30,000 feet for this year. Now, as far as the stock market, because that's really in heightened focus right now, because it's been really crazy. It's not going to be a bull market. It's not going to be a bear market. It's going to be a different market. Okay, and that's really going to be in bold relief starting in March. I mean, they're going to be crazy highs and scary lows. And so if you don't have a financial planner, if you don't have a broker, if you don't have someone that's guiding you, try and get someone. Don't try and play the market and think, oh, this stock is going to go up and this, all that sort of thing. Because there are forces that are driving the market that are A, non-human, and B, not logical. So there's going to be a lot of speculation. Oh, it's the interest rates. Oh, it's the impending trade war, or the Fed chair is going to stay on, or he's going to get fired, resign, or whatever. It's none of those things. It's people. It's opportunists taking advantage of people who don't know as much, and so you're going to see these highs where the stocks are going to go through the roof, and then the scary lows, and people are going to, oh my gosh, it's the beginning of the end. No, it's not. You just have to hang on, and so you're going to need someone to help if you don't have the stomach for it, because it's going to get whompy. Now, last year, there was a lot of movement in the industrial sector, and the industrial sector did very, very well. And this year, it's going to be about travel and communication and entertainment. These and publishing. These are stocks. Not necessarily like paper book publishing, although that will have somewhat of a resurgence. But any form of communication and online publishing, that sort of thing, even blogs. But it's going to be transformed, and so those stocks are going to do really well. Now, again, you don't just want to put all your money in one place. Get someone hopefully
put
to
your eggs in all
advise
one
you.
basket, basically.
Right, and there's going to be a lot of money in online opportunities. But again, sometimes those are a bit ephemeral. So, be cautious. But there are some people that are going to do very well, and there are some people that are going to lose it all because they don't know what they're doing. Because again, this is a year of change for the market. This is the year when the market starts to look like something different. Like before, we had like the bears and the bulls and all this sort of thing. And it was fairly consistent. Now it's just, and again, people are going to speculate, but it's just speculation. It's just people trying to make sense of something that really doesn't make logical sense because it's not really based on logical factors. People are playing the market differently now. Okay, so now that's the market. Now, as far as President Trump, there are probably people listening in other parts of the world, but President Trump is our duly elected president, and it's a 5-year for him. And interestingly enough, his numbers mirror the numbers of the stock market. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming at Trump that it's not really news, but it's going to be there's going to be a lot of gossip and what's his family doing and all that sort of thing. He is going to skate right through it. He's not going down. It may look like he's going down at times. He's not. He's not going down. It's a 5-year for him. He was more on a 14-5. So a 5-year, it's a lot like 9 years for some people, because if you don't have 9 in your chart and you go through a 9-year, it can be grueling. If anybody knows about numerology and you've been through a 9-year, you know what I'm talking about, and you don't have a 9 in your chart. Same thing with 5, because 5 is the year of, there's just a lot of change, and there can be health issues and all that sort of thing. But Trump's birthday is the 14th of June. And so that means that the 14-5 is one of his talents. So now people say that he's ADD, and yeah, sure, a little, maybe a lot. But he also really is a multitasker. So it's one of his talents to deal with a lot of things coming at him at once. And there is a month where, let's see, bear with me one moment. The Trump, well, I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a minute, because I just, I made these charts when you called. I have some classes coming up, so I just want to say that I can go more in detail. If your listeners want to call me, that's fine. You can go to my website, coolnumerology.com. So normally I wouldn't do a show like this. It's just so sort of moment. Right. But Phil, you're awesome, and you've been awesome to me. So anyway, okay. So that is Trump's basic year. He's going to talk about the Space Force a lot, and he's going to talk about new modes of transportation, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of talk about new ways to get around, especially in space, because that represents freedom, and it represents a new. It's not a new idea, but it's almost a new creative idea to bring out into the public sphere. In the way that he's doing it, a space force. What does that mean? The uniforms. Are they going to be astronauts? Are they going to be civilian? I mean, who's going to be part of the space force? Are you going to call it from the military? Different. He's going to get more in detail with that. Okay. So then, as far as you asked me about Pope Francis, and in the spirit of full disclosure, I don't really follow Pope Francis that much, but looking at his chart, it's really interesting. Of course, he's a very controversial figure, and it's also really interesting that his life path is a 3. Now, this is a 3 universal year. Well, it's not a 3 personal year for Pope Francis. It is actually a 5 personal year for Pope Francis, just like it's a 5 personal year for Trump. So it's a 5 personal year for the stock market, for President Trump and for Pope Francis. Now, what's interesting about Pope Francis and President Trump and the stock market, this is crazy. They are all attitudes 11. 11 is a master number, and it's kind of like if any of y'all have seen the movie Scanners, kind of a classic. You know, you can't if you can't have two scanners in the same room at the same time, or they'll blow each other up. It's kind of the same with 11, the master number 11. If they're not in harmony with each other, if they don't share the same goals, share the same dreams, they will battle, and you've seen that in the Trump administration. It's amazing how many 11s have been in the administration and have left. And I predicted some of them. There is Jeff Sessions, John Kelly. But some of his family has 11 in their chart, but they're on board with him. So that's why it kind of seems like they're very close-knit, because they are. With an 11, you're either in or you're out. Okay, so back to Francis. Now, people have really criticized the way that he has handled the sex scandals, right, and the abuse scandals. And he's been a lot of talk. So this year, what's going to happen with him is that he's going to implement some protocols for dealing with those accused of abusing kids, adults, whatever. And he's going to implement some protocols. So he's not going to be just talking about it and trying to do the term offensive. He's actually going to be getting down to business and having some kind of system to deal with offenders. So that is going to be different, and it's going to satisfy some people. Some people are going to be against him no matter what, because he is an attitude 11, so he does know how to put up a smoke screen. I'm not saying that he's not a good man, but he tries to create a vision, an idea of the Catholic Church that is good and that is pure. He's really trying to revamp that image, and quite frankly, it's very difficult right now. But he's still trying. But this year, he's going to be getting down to business and implementing some systems, some protocols, and also speaking out more against terrorism, which people have also been upset with him about, because he hasn't said much about that. So that is Pope Francis. Also, he's going to have like a health scare in May, and I do believe he will survive it, and then he will come back better than ever. And people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, that's pretty amazing." But there is going to be some kind of health scare. So that's Pope Francis.
Now, of course, real quick, the reason why I asked you about Pope Francis and what the numbers have in store for him is because there are predictions that, hey, let's see who I think it was Nostradamus or Edgar Casey, one of the two. Actually both of them. Edgar Casey said that he would resign possibly because of the whole scandal. And, of course, by Nostradamus was about, I believe it, I'm just trying to find it here. Or no, it wasn't by Nostradamus. It was somebody else saying that he would be assassinated and he would be the last pope. So I wanted to get everybody's opinion, everybody's thoughts on it and everything like that. That's why I didn't mention that until everybody came on. So I didn't want to taint anybody's perception or prediction of Pope Francis and everything like that. I want everybody open to different ways of thinking or what everybody has in mind, and I've stated so many times that no psychic is ever going to be 100% right. Even Nostradamus and Edgar Cayce were wrong at times. So let's, for the sake of the Pope, let's hope none of that happens as far as what those people said.
Right. I think if there's any resigning that's going to happen, it may happen next in 2020, April, May. But there will be a scare, and it could be an assassination attempt in May of this year. In May of this year, but I do think he will survive. It's a health scare, or maybe it could be an assassination. That didn't come up, but it could. It might not. It might be poisoning, so that could look like health. But I do think that he will survive. But next year is the year where he may resign. So
Okay.
not this year. Yeah.
All right.
And so then let's see. As far as Mueller, Robert Mueller, he's a kind of an interesting cat. He's running this investigation based on what many believe is a phony dossier, and he is not to be messed with, as a lot of people are starting to realize. He does hold things close to his vest, but I do believe that the investigation will end in September, October, and it will be inconclusive as far as collusion. Collusion of Donald Trump having collusion with the Russians as far as manipulating the election. It will be inconclusive, but that will be the very, very end of the investigation. That will be it. And it will be inconclusive, and a lot of people will go down because of it, but it will be found there is no collusion. And it doesn't look like there is.
September,
October, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Just because I'm trying to write this down as we go, too.
Yeah, that's good. So that's, and it's interesting because, Robert Mueller, I'm going to say this, he is, and he's not a personal client, but I'm just going to say this, he is a mama's boy, okay? And he is a people pleaser. He is brilliant, and he can be cold and analytical, but underneath it all, he wants to look good. And he was given this mission, and he's doing everything he can to indict those who can be indicted. And certainly there are people that have committed crimes. But as far as the actual crime that they are trying to uncover, collusion, it isn't there, but a lot of people are going to go down. And people are going to say it's there, and there's going to be a lot of gossip and rumor and all that sort of thing. And if you thought that fake news was big last year, it's going to be even bigger this year. So it's going to follow Trump. And I also don't think that Trump is going to be impeached. And one of the reasons is that the Democrats know they'll lose, and it will just be another loss, and it'll just make them look even worse, like fighting so hard and then coming up with nothing, running up against a brick wall. So and as far and let's see, the travel, so
we got
it's
time for maybe one more real quick.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to mention about Trump and trying to communicate with the Democrats and with his opponents. He's going to try and communicate more, and he's going to do his best. But you might say, like, there's a host on a talk show in Los Angeles who said, I was giving a prediction for 2018. He said, "Oh, so we've been experiencing Trump with the handbrake on." It's going to seem like that this year. He's going to be very Trumpian this year, but he will try and communicate, and there will overall be less divisiveness. People are going to start to come together and almost laugh about it. And I know that sounds crazy. Oh, and I also want to mention something else just in general as far as the year. I'm a little concerned about September, and I don't like to do negative predictions. I think maybe I spoke about this before, because then you're somewhat married to that negativity. But I am looking at September, a little bit concerned about that. So, just send your good thoughts to September, and everything's going to be okay. Because we all got to work together on this deal, and we are going to come together. Oh, and there are going to be a lot of sex scandals this year, and there's some other scandals. That's basically it. I hope that helps folks out there. I hope that spoke to some people, especially the stuff I said in the beginning.
Okay, now real quick, because I'm gonna get where people can get a hold of you in a second, but now. Some of the I've only made two predictions for the coming year because I haven't had time to write down what I've seen coming. But the two that I've come up with is conflict between the U.S., Russia, and China, and more civil unrest around the world. Now, could that possibly be what you're talking about for September?
Well,
I mean,
from what I see, not really. It's going to be some bad actors trying to create mayhem around the world. Yeah, like it could be an attack, but now that we're bringing it out in the open, a lot of times, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So hopefully if there's anybody that's involved in security or whatever, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first one that's talked about this. I'm sure people have advanced, information. But hopefully it will be thwarted, and we're looking at it right now. So hopefully the sunlight will break it up into pieces.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on the show, especially at last moment. And, of course, for all the guests that have been on my show, thank you for coming on for this last moment thing. It was kind of a last moment thing. I knew I was going to do my prediction show. I just didn't know when. And I decided that I'm going to do it Friday night, so let me get it done. So thank you again for coming on the show. Now, where can people find out more about you and contact you?
Okay. I want to thank you so much, Phil, for inviting me. You're really a fantastic host, and I wish you the best this year. They can reach me at info@coolnumerology.com. Cool, COOL, numerology, and spell out numerology.com. And the website is coolnumerology.com, www.coolnumerology.com. Reach me at info@coolnumerology.com. And I have some specials going for a forecast for this upcoming year. And I would also love to hear from all of you. And keep in touch.
I will do. And, of course, I'll have all your predictions as well as other people's predictions up on the Talking Tonight Facebook page where people can see what predictions were made. And, of course, I'll be making more predictions for 2019 in the couple of days, maybe at the beginning of the next year, because I got a busy weekend and busy week ahead of me. I don't want to give up too much information just in case my girlfriend's listening. Because I got something planned for New Year's Eve. I don't want to blow it.
Don't blow it, Phil.
I'll let you know when we go to commercial break, and I got the mic muted so that way I don't blow it. So thank you again for coming on the show at last moment. Thank you for your predictions for 2019. And for those listening to the show, we're going to take the last commercial break. But after this commercial break, we're going to open up the phone lines where you, the listeners, can call in, share your predictions for 2019, what you see coming. And we'll get those written down for what you see, and then we'll go over them next year. So we'll be right back after this short commercial break. You are listening to Talk in the Night.
My head is heavy, let me lay it down. Into your lap I would love to drown. I need that story I used to hear, to run on into and disappear. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. Your stories, they come from the heart. Glue me together and tear me apart.
When you click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk in the Night website for Lola Scarborough, contact her and mention Talk in the Night. You will receive a 10% off discount code and link for the book, Fighting for Our Tents. And on Friday night, one lucky listener will have a chance to win a hardcover copy of the book. By clicking on the Spiritual and Broke banner ad at the top of the Talk in the Night website, and you sign up on Jennifer Noel Taylor's website, you will get the first 3 chapters of her new book, Spiritual and Broke. And this Friday, one lucky listener will have the chance to win a free copy of her new book when it comes out, as well as her other book, Love Incorporated. When you go to facebook.com/paranormalphil, you can find services offered such as a personal reading, cleansing of a home or business, energy healing, or just some advice. Check out the page today. Also, until December 30th, you can get 10% off a 30-minute personal reading by using the promo code PhilReads2018.
Dark night, all alone, I hear noises, but no one's home, so I walk out of my bedroom, looking around, don't know what to find, I'm freaking out, can't sleep anymore, gotta watch out. I hear knocks at the door, maybe it's paranormal activity.
To call into the show, Skype Talk in the Night, or by phone at 817-717-5561. And now, back to Talk in the Night with your host, Paranormal Phil. Okay, and we are back into the last segment of the show. I kind of blew something when I was talking with my last guest here in the last half hour, and I forgot I had Facebook Live on, so hopefully my girlfriend doesn't watch that and see that portion of the show. Yeah. So for those watching in Facebook Live, if you want to get your predictions in for 2019, or if you're on Spreaker.com, pop in the chat, let me know your predictions, write down your predictions there, or on Facebook Live. I'm going to mention on the website here in a second about So, again, the floor is open to you, the listeners, to call in. Excuse me. The numbers to call in are by Skype at Talking the Night. Skype the name Talking the Night, all one word. Or by phone at 817-717-5561. So, yeah, hopefully I didn't blow anything. I think she kind of knew what the thing I'm going to do on New Year's Eve is anyways, but I'm trying not to blow it. I promise. So, let's hopefully she don't watch the Facebook Live. Hopefully she's just listening on radio. So, again, the phone lines are open. If you got any predictions for 2019, feel free to call into the show. Share your predictions for 2019. And I'm going to try and see if I can come up with some more predictions. Now, of course, I think I read all the predictions that were coming. Now, I don't think I covered Edgar Casey's predictions in that first half hour. Maybe I did. But I want to quickly run over them just in case I didn't. China will have more religious freedom. The doors will be more open to Christianity in China. Numerous volcanic eruptions. Exploding drones. Terrorists using drones to attack soft targets and everything using drones and explosives attached to them, so they can be more at a greater distance away from those explosives. Of course, with the popularity of drones, it's more likely. I'm not trying to put anybody in a panic or anything like that because of these predictions. Of course, these are not my predictions. These are Edgar Casey's. Let's hope something like that is wrong, but yeah, that's one prediction he has. Pope Francis resigns. We talked about that with Miss M in that last half hour. Internet radio or internet becoming more popular than TV. Yes, I did mention all these, but I wanted to run over them real quick just in case I forgot. That I'm seeing a lot of it. More people are going to more alternative media and ways to watch TV shows, movies, everything like that. TV shows have been declining. Movie theaters, I believe, are declining, and people coming into them because a lot of people can view this stuff online. Through the internet, through such devices as Amazon's Fire Stick, Roku, and so many more apps out there. I want to say hi to all those watching on Facebook Live. Thank you for watching the show. If you got a prediction, post it right there in the chat or call the show. Once again, Skype, Talking the Night, all one word, or by phone at 817-717-5561. So I want to get your predictions for 2019, sorry, not 13. I'm going back in time. Yeah, one of the things that I didn't mention that I saw, and I wrote down all the predictions by different people, and I ended up deleting it by accident. So I had to hurry up tonight to get some of those predictions written down again by like Nostradamus and Edgar Casey. But time travel will become possible in 2019. That was by somebody, I can't remember who. But if you think about it, time travel is already possible. In a sense, I mean, when we're traveling on a plane and say we're going from the East Coast to the West Coast, we're traveling back in time. Or if you're traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast, you're traveling forward in time. So, yeah, there's that form of time travel. But we're talking about back to the future type time travel. And I believe that it's already possible. We just haven't learned about it. We haven't been told about it. And, of course, I wanted to check the chat rooms and stuff like that. But, yeah, we just have not been told about it. It's been going on since, like, the Montauk Project, the Philadelphia experiment. If anybody follows those type of things. Dr. Michio Kaku, which I would love to get on the show, hopefully in 2019, talks about wormholes and parallel universes, and he's a theoretical physicist, so this stuff is possible. It's out there. We know about it, and of course, I got a feeling that we're going to know more this year. We heard from, let's see, who mentioned it? I'm trying to remember. I think it was Alma talking about, it was Alma talking about alien life forms, stuff like that, crashes and stuff like that, more UFO sightings. We're going to learn more from our extraterrestrial visitors of that technology, and we're going to learn that time travel is possible. Now we're going to learn more technologies. We're going to become more advanced in things that we do. Now, a lot of us on the lower spectrum of things are not going to be prevalent to a lot of this information. Of course, governments hide a lot of this information, but we're going to still get more visitations by extraterrestrial beings, whether they be the Anunnaki, the Greys, the Reptilians, and the Reptilians is, of course, one of the better, or the more darker of extraterrestrials. I've heard the Greys are in that category too. But yes, call me crazy. I do believe they're among us. And there are people that are going to say that they don't exist. But think about it. As big as the universe is, even our solar system, how can we say that they're not out there? Or something is out there in our galaxy, our universe, and everything like that. There's billions of stars that could harbor life on another planet. We've seen people find planets at great distances away, like in the Goldilocks zone of their own star. And of course, we've been trying to find Earth-like planets. So I believe we're going to start, and I just got this message now. I believe, and I'm going to write it down before I forget. And it's hard to type and everything like that. I want to say hello to everybody watching Facebook Live. But let me get this out and then I'll type it. The message I got is we're going to start sending things to Mars to colonize Mars. And sorry about this. I'm typing, and when I'm typing, I have a tough time typing and talking at the same time because it messes me up on my typing. Okay, so that I wanted to get that out. Now, again, the phone lines are open. Facebook Live is open. If you got a prediction for 2019, type it right there in the chat. Spreaker chat room is open. Pop in there. Say hi. Let me know you're listening. And, of course, give me your predictions for 2019 and everything like that. And of course, the phone lines are open. The numbers to call in is 817-717-5561 or by Skype at Talk in the Night, all one word. So we got about 15 minutes. If you want to get your predictions in, get them in now. Or if you listen to this later and you want to get your prediction in for the following year, I will post something up on the Talking the Night Facebook page where you can make your predictions for 2019 if you listen to the show later. And I want to look at Facebook because somebody sent me a message. Okay. So, I see it coming, but... oh, wait. What the heck is going on with my computer? I don't know. I'm seeing it there, but I'm not seeing it on Facebook. This is weird. I'm seeing it on my phone, but the message is coming in. Maybe I have to refresh Facebook on my computer. I think that's the problem. I had to refresh the thing. But if you have a prediction for 2019, feel free to... okay. Thanks, Alma. Hey, Tori, welcome to the Facebook chat. Now, I've already mentioned a couple of things, what I see coming for 2019, and I'm just trying to check messages at the same time and watch everything. I don't have multiple computers so I can have different things open. Eventually, hopefully, I'll get to that point where I have a computer here, here, and here, where I can watch multiple screens. So I just wanted to, all right. So as far as what I saw coming for 2019, I'm going to go over this real quick again. I see a conflict between the U.S., Russia, and China. Hopefully I'm wrong. And, of course, more civil unrest around the world, especially here in the United States. I see this more happening in the beginning of the year rather than the latter part of the year. I see we start opening up to more understanding and everything like that later on in the year. Of course, I just saw that we're going to start sending stuff to Mars to colonize that planet. In 2019. So we got a call coming in. Let me get to... All right, you're on there with Paranormal Phil. What's your prediction?
That cannabis will hit its high point But if you're going to be in the stock market, be out of it by 2020 because it's going to be a big collapse in it.
So
most people don't think about that. Yeah.
It will hit a high point, but
in 1990, if you've invested any cannabis stocks, you're going to make money. But be out of them by January 1st, 2020.
It'll be out by July 2020. Or you said January. I'm sorry, not July, right?
Yeah, January. Yeah. It's going to make a big rise up. It's going to be a big fad. Everybody's going to be investing in it. Big corporations going to be buying up little companies. You buy the stock now. You can buy like I just bought 24,000 shares of Hemp Inc. at 4 cents a share. If it goes up $1, I've made a fortune.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, I know that's been a big thing lately because I've talked to people that have gone into business before it really took its as far as popularity, and they made tons of money just selling their stocks or their businesses from it, or selling their business to other people. They spent say 50,000, and once it hit its big point, they were selling their business for 150,000. So
there was a time you could have bought Apple stock for $3 a share.
Yeah,
and Bill Gates,
look at where that is now.
Bill Gates bought $150 million worth of it at the time. I knew it was going to go, but I was broke.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Gates, when he bought that much worth, I mean, imagine what that $150 million is worth today at $3 a share.
Yeah. Billions of dollars. All right. Thank you for your 2019 prediction.
Thank you. Nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. All right. And so, of course, we are on the air. If you'd like to get your prediction in, like I said, I got Spreaker chat room open. I got Facebook Live open. And let's see what... let's see if I can read it. I can't do it on my phone. So let me go to Talking the Night and the video and everything like that. Get the comment. Actually, it's probably on. It should be on Talking the Night. But again, if you want to get your predictions in, feel free to leave them on Facebook Live or on Spreaker, and I will take your predictions for 2019. And of course, after the show, I will. Let's see. I'm just looking here. Okay, now I'm going to write this down in a bit here, but my friend Tori said that she sees the stock market hitting the good at the beginning of the year, start of the new year, and of course Russia siding with China to bring down the dollar and bring up the yen. So I will write that down in a moment because it is hard to write down things and also talk at the same time. So any predictions written down, I will type them in right after the show because we're going to end here in about 7 minutes. So if you want to call into the show, thank you, Alma, for sending Bill the call into the show. Thank you. Again, if you want your predictions heard here on the air, you have to call into the show. So let's take another call real quick here. Hello, you're on the air with Paranormal Phil.
The only prediction I have is that things are going to get worse before they get better.
Okay.
That's all I can say. I can't be specific. But that's what I'm getting.
All right. Well, it's definitely recorded, and it will be read at the end of next year.
Thank you.
So things will get worse before they get better. All right. Thank you for your call.
Okay.
All right. And like I said, just like that, it doesn't have to be specific. Not everybody's going to get specific with their predictions. And I'm just typing just so that way I can get those predictions down. Excuse me. So we got 5 minutes left. I got time for one more call. If you want to call in, make your prediction for 2019 and get it on the air. Feel free to call in. The number to call in is Talk in the Night by Skype or by phone at 817-717-5561. We got about 2 minutes to take one more call. Otherwise, we're going to end the show pretty shortly here. And in a couple minutes, I want to mention what is coming up with the show and everything and with myself before we get off the air. Because I only got a 3-hour time slot that I can work with, so I got to end right at the 3-hour mark. So if we got any calls, let's see, more earthquakes in the Indian Ocean, worldwide floods, and more harsh storms. That's from my friend Tori in the Facebook Live post and everything like that. I want to see how much time we got left. We got about less than 4 minutes. So I got time for one call real quick. If not, I'll be back after the first of the year. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. When I got 3 minutes left, that's when I'm going to get into what I got coming up. So we got 10 seconds. All right. So it don't look like I'm going to get any more calls, but I'm going to post up on Facebook where you can type in your prediction for 2019 on the Talking Tonight Facebook page. I will record them. All things will be read at the end of the next year during my annual prediction show that I do every year. Whether I'm doing the show or not, actively, I do this show every year just to get your predictions, and we'll find out all together at the end of next year. Now, of course, I mentioned it earlier. If you need a psychic reading, cleansing of home or business, energy healing, or just advice, go to facebook.com/paranormalphil. I got some great prices on there. Yes, they might seem a little bit high, but I am very reliable in the information that I get and the work that I do. I'm a light worker, so if you need any of that services, check it out. Paranormal Phil on Facebook. Talking Tonight hopefully we'll be back next year, sometime after the first of the year. I've been dealing with a lot of health issues and personal financial reasons. So if you want to sponsor the show, send me a message at Talking the Night on Facebook or on the show's website at talkingthenight.weebly.com. I'll let you know how you can donate to the show, sponsor the show, or anything like that. Keep it going. Let's get this positive vibe out there rather than the negative vibe. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in on Facebook, on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, iTunes, and all the places that carry the show. Thank you for tuning in to this annual prediction show. And until after the first of the year when I broadcast live again, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talking the Night. And have a safe and happy new year.